Hey guys, Bitcoin Owen here. Welcome to today's video on Bitcoin. The first thing I'd like to talk about is Metaplanet basically. Metaplanet are trying to emulate strategy in Japan basically. Metaplanet are based in Japan and they're trying to implement the same strategy as strategy. The same plan as strategy. So what they're doing is they are issuing shares using the money then to buy Bitcoin. The share price goes up and then they issue debt and shares, debt shares, debt shares, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth like that, all the way up to infinity basically until all the fiat is gone basically. And these companies, these Bitcoin treasury companies I would call them, such as Strategy and Metaplanet, have no plan then for what they will do with the Bitcoin once all the fiat is gone. Once we've moved away from the dollar and the yen and the pound and so on, what are these companies going to do with their Bitcoin that they hold on their balance sheet? There's no plan for that. The plan for the moment is just to get as much Bitcoin as they can possibly get their hands on, accumulate, issue shares, issue convertible debt, all forms of corporate finance dodgery basically, until there is no one with a pound left basically. But that means that these things are dangerous. Like these Bitcoin treasury companies are dangerous because they will soak up all the fiat, and if the central banks will have to print money then to replace the money that goes into these treasury companies basically, and to meet people's demand for and need for Bitcoin. And that will drive the cost of everything up. As you know, as central banks print money, the cost of everything, the price of everything goes up. We get high inflation basically, and that's what these Bitcoin treasury companies are going to cause inflation, and so is Bitcoin. Bitcoin itself is going to cause inflation too. But I would not recommend buying Bitcoin through a Bitcoin treasury company. I would recommend buying Bitcoin directly from an exchange and taking self-custody of it. Do not custody your Bitcoin with an exchange. Buying Bitcoin through a treasury company such as Strategy or Metaplanet, it complicates things and adds risk basically, because these companies could be hacked, their wallets could be hacked, they could be stolen, anything could happen. Whereas when you have your own Bitcoin under your own custody, you know exactly where it is and you know how much of it is there. The second point I would like to make this evening is you should really be buying Bitcoin today basically. The longer you leave it, the poorer you are going to be when Bitcoin becomes our money basically. If the longer you leave it basically and put off buying Bitcoin, the fewer Bitcoins you will have when after hyper Bitcoinization has happened, and Bitcoin merchants and retailers and food and clothes and electricity and housing is bought with Bitcoin. Where is your Bitcoin going to come from if you don't buy it today? Those euros that you have in your bank account are really made redundant and worthless by Bitcoin. And the richer you will be, the sooner you buy Bitcoin. The longer you leave it off, the poorer you will be. The debate about op return does not make for pleasant reading basically. When investors look at the developers squabbling over a technical issue such as op return, it does not make Bitcoin look good. Bitcoin does not look good in light of the app return debate. Basically, it's healthy that there is a debate, but no decision has been reached. Basically, and the one or two pull requests on GitHub have had to be closed down because of all the spam that was being posted on the thread on GitHub. They had to close down the pull request, and the debate moved to delving Bitcoin. The debate moved to Reddit. The debate moved particularly to Twitter, and the debate today on Twitter was all about. I suppose it's going to be it's probably going to be a quiet few days now until the conference happens on Tuesday, I think, the 27th. 25th is Sunday. Yeah, Tuesday. The conference is on Tuesday, the Bitcoin conference in Las Vegas. You can watch it for free and live on YouTube. Just Google Bitcoin Magazine. If you're not a subscriber, you should be. Subscribe to Bitcoin Magazine on YouTube, and you'll get a lot. You'll be able to watch the conference live from your armchair on Tuesday afternoon, Wednesday afternoon, and Thursday afternoon. It's only 2 days anyway. I think JD Vance is speaking on Thursday. The main days are Wednesday and Thursday basically, and JD Vance is speaking on Wednesday, I think, the Vice President of America. Interesting to hear what he has to say. I listened to the the Bitcoin Optech podcast today, and some of the debate, they spent about 10 minutes debating 64-bit arithmetic. Chris Stewart, who is always on about 64-bit arithmetic, he wants to bring it to Bitcoin script basically, because he feels that Bitcoin script is limited. It does not have 64-bit arithmetic. That would be basically the capability of dealing with very large numbers in Bitcoin, basically. Very large numbers. You're talking quadrillions and above. That's what 64-bit arithmetic brings. Well, you would have to deal with large numbers basically when you get down to sats basically, and multiplication of sats and computation of sats, and Bitcoin script is limited because it does not have 64-bit arithmetic capability at present. Anyway guys, that's all for now. Have a look. Be sure to learn how to use GitHub if you don't know how. You can sign up to GitHub, register an account with GitHub, and browse the Bitcoin organization. Basically, go to github.com/Bitcoin/Bitcoin. You can view all of the pull requests, all of the debates in the issues tab, the pull request tab. They have the developers have a weekly meeting at 5 p.m. Irish time. It's 4 p.m. UTC and 5 p.m. British and Irish time. And I attend that meeting every Thursday when available. And it's interesting. Important. You can even get there's a new tool. It's an AI tool on GitHub where it will explain each line of code and each command to you basically. So you don't need to go to computer science school basically if you want to learn all the code in Bitcoin. It's there on GitHub, the GitHub AI Copilot it's called. Just click on the line number and then it will bring, and then the menu arrow on the right hand side, and you can select explain from the menu, the drop down menu, and it will bring you to an AI explanation basically of the line in question. Take care folks. Happy Bitcoin Day. Happy Bitcoin Pizza Day.